Alright, so what we have here is a Bog Warner 71C 1-to-1 transmission connected to 351 Windsor. The problem we're trying to solve is we have a situation where there's no neutral. We have a couple of theories on it, and it's not just a little bit of clutch drag. It's extreme to a point where there's no safe way to grab that shaft and stop it. It spins up pretty tight. It'll match the engine RPM easily. What we do notice is we have a reverse, we have a good forward, and when you're in reverse, coming out of reverse into neutral, the shaft will stop for a second or so, and then slowly, well, I don't know about slowly, it'll pick up speed, and within a couple seconds it's at full speed, again matching engine RPM. So the broad categories or theories we have, it's something hydraulic. That's the pressure is not releasing when you're in forward and neutral. There's a theory on top of that that the pressure in neutral has no place to go. The pressure release spring opens in the valve, and one theory is that if this water cooler is clogged, the pressure still has no place to go, so it's backing up in the valve around the tolerances of the fit of the valve, and continuing to put pressure on the forward drive clutches because the excess pressure has no place to go. So that's one theory. The other broad category is something mechanical, and if it is mechanical, we'll have to pull this thing out again, and that would be something regarding the forward drive piston in the forward drive cylinder, or the Belleville spring not having the same characteristics of the original spring, and it's weak and it won't push the piston back. So that's kind of a mechanical thing. We've already replaced the clutches. We already did a full rebuild on this thing. We replaced the clutches, so on and so forth. So yeah, so that's where we're at. And so the first thing I'm going to do to rule out some of these theories is I'm going to bypass this cooler. I'm just going to take one of the hoses and I'm going to loop it around between this port and this port down here, and kind of see where that takes us. Start the motor and see if I can get a neutral, and if so, then this thing's clogged. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Alright, so I got this bypassed. I just loop that around there so I don't get any water in it. Water's connected. Here's my bypass here. Water's flowing. Then blower on. No blower. Let me see if the batteries are on. Alright, so the bypass didn't really work. Alright, I still have the hoses bypass going into the cooler. Okay, so I took the valve out. Alright, I'm trying to understand how this valve works, and I know what it does, but how exactly it does it is what I'm interested in. Alright, so this valve sits in about this position here, okay? And you can see how this hose lines up with this slot. So when the pressure builds, this valve opens and dumps water or dumps fluid into the cooler. You know, we understand that. These holes here are the feed for the whole system coming out of the pump. So the pump comes through this main channel here where this Allen head is, and you can see how that lines up. So the pump is feeding fluid into these 4 holes, right? Overpressure, the spring opens and dumps fluid into the cooler. Okay, so this thing is sitting in its neutral position. So the tab is down, lever is where it should be, and the flats on this valve are not pointing to any of the galleys for the oil. All right, so this is reverse, and as this hole here comes up, it lines up with this here, which it feeds the reverse clutches. So that tells me that as this hole comes up, and that's about the reverse position, that the reverse clutches are now being fed fluid through these holes and out this one. Okay, so we go back to neutral, and none of these holes line up with the forward clutches. Go forward, and that's about the forward position. Then you have these holes lining up with the oil galley that goes down to the main shaft and feeds the forward clutches. So that's kind of my theory of operation on this thing. Why we can't get neutral out of this, it's undetermined yet. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I got the theory of operation down and I was correct. This is the valve in the neutral position. The port for the drive clutches is on the bottom, and right now that's blocked off at this flat here. And when you go into reverse, it's about, I'm estimating this lever position, it's about this position, and then the reverse galley is on top, so the fluid is going to flow through the valve and out this hole here to the reverse clutches. This hole is doing nothing at this time. There's nothing over here. Back to neutral, where the reverse galley is blocked off. The forward galley is blocked off on the bottom. When you go into a forward position, which is approximately here, the fluid, again, from the feed goes through here, goes through the valve, and will come out this hole here. So I got my finger on that hole. That would be the forward position, right? So applying pressure to the shaft, through the galley to the shaft, to the forward cylinder and piston and the forward clutches. These holes I don't think do anything. I think when they manufactured this part, they drilled through holes, if you can see that or not, but I don't think these holes do anything, to be honest with you. I can't see what their purpose is other than to provide lubrication along this valve, but I don't think they do anything. So it's mainly reverse this way, forward this way, neutral, fluids going nowhere, pressure valve would open and dump to the cooler, and all the cooler lines seem to be free. Cooler seems to be not clogged, so I don't know. My next thought is something mechanical. So deeper examination of this valve. This boat is 30 years old, right? So I see wear marks on it. I don't feel any grooves. Again, this would be neutral here, and I would think if it's leaking to the forward clutches, it would be right here. Is again kind of my theory, or I don't know, hard to say, but I don't see anything major. Somebody with more experience is going to have to tell me but none of this looks bad to me. Okay. If somebody sees something bad, let me know. But I'm not seeing it. We've had this relief valve apart before, and it's in there freely. There's no binding. It moves very free in there. It's hard to get apart. I'm not going to take it apart right here. So, anyhow, the inspection of the valve and a little bit how it works in my mind, anyhow. All right. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I took the plug out of the reverse galley, and it might be hard to see down in there to get the right angle, but with my finger through the side here, you can see my finger, right? So that is the reverse galley. Now down below it is the forward galley. Again, that runs through the case, runs through the shaft, and up to the forward clutches. So I don't know how well you can see that hole. I'm trying to do my best here. But the point of this is I don't see any scratches or feel anything around that hole that would enable, fluid to pass and give us like a false pressure on the forward clutches while in neutral. So that's the whole point of me looking at this hole down in there. So hopefully you can see it here. Just kind of awkward to try and show it. By the way, I did blow through these lines just, myself, just, putting these in my mouth actually. And I can blow from this fitting to the cooler, and then from the cooler, I can hear it blowing bubbles in the crankcase. So the theory of this thing being clogged up, no, there's nothing there. That's not happening. And to be honest with you, the whole hydraulic problem theory is falling apart. I'm just not seeing anything hydraulically with this valve that would allow hydraulic pressure to feed the forward clutches on its own when it's in the neutral position. I'm not seeing it. So I think, unfortunately, I think we're going to need to pull this out again and take a look at that forward drive piston and forward drive cylinder, and possibly the Belleville spring is where I think I'm heading with this. Picking this up with my iPhone. Stop it with my hand. I don't know if that's any kind of improvement or not. up there fine.